Okay guys, another day, another tutorial. Today I'm going to talk about booleans. Now, remember in one of the past videos I talked about comparing values. Let's say is 5 greater than 4, something like this. Now if I want to store the output, I'll need a boolean. So how to declare this? You type in bool, then type let's say output, and then this equals to something like this. And you can also output booleans to the console like a normal variable. Let's see what will happen. It's true. If I turn this to, let's say, is it equal? And it's false. Okay, but let's say I want to skip answering some question. Let's say, how is the pressure of the atmosphere? Oh, imagine that I am some science fiction guy, and then I am living on some other planet which doesn't have atmosphere, where I'm doing let's say some experiment there, rather not living, but I am there just for a brief moment. So how to solve this situation? Well, there is also another option, but I am going to explain this in a future video, just as some trivia, so I can store a no. Well, I'll get an error, so in order to do this I'll need to put a question mark here, and then if I try to output my variable, what will be the outcome? Nothing. Okay, so I would explain something briefly. There is something called Boolean logic. So if I have something like output 1, and then I have something like output 2, and I remove this, and then I set this to true, and then I set this to false. So there is something called Boolean logic. If I try to do output 1 and then use this operator, what will be the result? It would be false. What if I change this one to true as well? It will be true. Now, there is another operator here, which is called OR. So we have true, true. If I change this to false, then it's true. Well, let me show you an article in Wikipedia where this comes from. You know, in mathematics you have something like 1 plus 1 equals to 2, but here it's like you have two values only, true and false, and then you can do some arithmetics. So this idea came from George Boole, and you can read about him in this Wikipedia article, but yeah, pretty great guy. I'll draw a picture for you, or rather some graphic. So let me expand this. Now, if I have something like and I have here, sorry, it seems like the pen doesn't work very well sometimes. So we have something like this. We have A, and then we have B, and then we have something like output, and then we have something like false, then, and this will be, and yeah, I already wrote it. If I have false, then I have something like true, then I'll get false. If I have true here, false here, then this will be false as well. Let me expand this one more time. And then if I have something like true, and then I have true, then this will be true. So bear in mind, this is only for AND. If I have something like OR, so I have something like OR, then I'll have the same A, then I have B, and then I have output. So forgive my drawing, but if I have false, then the output will be false. If I have something like false, then I have true, then I'll have true. We already saw this. If I have true, then I have false, then it will be true. And then if I have true and then true, then this will be true as well. Now there is something called well, I don't know like the proper term, but I'll call it like the not, and it's like the opposite. Say if I have something like K, I have the output, and then I have, if A is false, then the not will be true, and then this will be true, and the opposite will be false. So in essence, this is something like this. Then bow, and then this will be the output 3, and then we have something like output 1, which is true, and then we say something like this. Now let's see what will be the output. We output 3. And it will be false. No. This is something very fundamental to computer logic, and there are these things called transistors, and they can have on and off state, and some of these principles apply there as well. So there are these logical gates, and if you turn on one transistor and switch off the other, then you can have like some logic. And you can buy a breadboard and buy some Arduino and play around with this. And let me try and draw some quick picture. I don't have much time, as I have some time limit, but you can research this for yourself. But basically you have something like AND, and then you have A, then you have B, and then you have something like this. Sorry if I don't draw it correctly. And then you have the output. So you can draw the same table, like 0, 0. Then you have 1 and 1, and then you have 1. You can have 1 and 0, and then you have 0. So as you see, this is very familiar to this Boolean logic. Of course, there is the OR gate, so you can have like something like A and B, and then you have something like this shape, and you get the idea. So this is how the computer works and does, let's say, mathematics internally. But as I said, this is a big topic, and it's more like some extra content. Probably sometime in the future I'll do some course about computer science and explain this more properly. But for now, that's all. And thanks for watching.